Let God. Let go. Let God. That's some good stuff there. Ow! So good. It is time now for us to let go of guilt, fear, generally crappy feelings. Take a deep breath. It's time to let go and let love. Take a breath. So I'm going to share with you all the guidelines for the Course in Miracles, especially if you're here for the first time. And these are the only rules for the class. Oh yeah. These are the rules for the Course. Yes. Just the only thing you have to remember. Yes. It's only this. I need not believe the ideas. I need not believe the ideas. I need not say what? Believe the ideas. So you need not believe the ideas that you hear. You need not believe them. I need not what? Accept the ideas. Say what? I need not, accept the ideas. I need not, say what? And guess what? And none of this will matter. It don't matter whether you believe it or accept it. None of this will matter. It doesn't matter if you accept it. None will matter, no. Because what? Because the use will give it meaning and show you that the ideals are true. So if you use it, you'll see that it's true. Take a breath, take a breath. We're going to keep on going through. This is straight from the Course in Miracles. I need not welcome the ideas. I need not welcome the ideas. What? I need not, say it with me. Welcome the ideas. It's okay to play, I say. And some of these ideas are gonna actively resist. Some of these ideas I'm gonna actively resist. Some of these ideas I'm gonna actively resist. And guess what? And none of this will matter. And none of this will matter. None of this will matter, no. Because their use will give it meaning. I say their use will give it meaning and show me that the ideas. Now you want to tell Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Come on and show me. Say universe, that the ideas are true. Come on and show me. Holy Spirit, that the ideas are true. Come on and show me. Yeah, that the ideas. Let's go. Show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit. You have to let your inner party like a big dog. You have to let your party like a big dog, divine self, create joy for you. And some of these ideas you're going to find hard to believe. Oh, some of these ideas, I'm gonna find hard to believe. Some of these ideas, I'm gonna find hard to believe. And some of these ideas are gonna seem quite startling. Some of these ideas are gonna seem quite startling. I am not asked to judge the ideas at all. I am not asked to judge the ideas at all. I am not asked to judge the ideas at all. None of this will matter. Well, none of this will matter. Woo! Yeah. None none of this will matter, no, because the use will give it meaning. I say the use will give it meaning and show me that the ideas are true. Show me. Hey, look at somebody and go show me that the ideas are true. Come on and show me. That the ideas are true. Come on and show me. That the ideas are true. Come on and show me. The ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. I say, show me that the ideas are true. If I use it, I will see that the ideas are true. So you got the guidelines? You don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it. We're finishing up what I was talking about last episode on fear and conflict. So we're talking about any area of your life that you may think you have fear and conflict. And we're talking about turning it over to your divine self, your higher self. How to give it up. So I'd like you to think of some area of your life right now that you are not feeling peace in. You're not choosing for peace right now. At least one area in your life. I know it may be hard to discover one, but give it a good shot. Do you have one?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We're on page 29.
Yeah, right here.
And I'm going to read paragraph 1, 3, and 4.
Okay.
I mean 2, 3, and 4. Okay. You ready?
29. 1, 3, and 4.
2, 3, and 4.
2, 3, and 4. Okay.
Gonna read 2, 3, and 4. I do not foster level confusion, but you must choose to correct it. You would not excuse insane behavior on your part by saying you could not help it. You could not help it. You could not help it. So why should you condone insane thinking? Why should you condone insane thinking? Why should you condone insane thinking? There is a confusion here that you would do well to look at clearly. There's a confusion that you would do well to look at clearly. You may believe that you are responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. Oh no, not for what you think. You may believe that you are responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. The truth is that you are responsible for what you think. You are responsible for what you think. You are responsible because thinking it's only at the thinking level that you can exercise choice. It's only at the thinking level that you can exercise choice. It's only at the thinking level that you can exercise choice. Because what you do comes from what you think. What you do comes from what you think. What I do comes from what I think. What I do comes from what I think. Now you cannot separate yourself from the truth by giving autonomy to behavior. You can't separate yourself from the truth by giving autonomy to behavior. Your behavior is controlled by me, your higher self, automatically. As you place what you think under my guidance, what you think is controlled automatically by your higher self as you place what you think under your higher self's guidance. So whenever you are afraid, it's a sure sign that you haven't allowed You have allowed your mind to miscreate, and you're not allowing spirit to guide it. Whenever you are afraid, it's a sure sign that you have allowed your mind to miscreate and have not allowed me to guide it. Whenever you are afraid, it's a sure sign that you have allowed your mind to miscreate. You have allowed your mind to miscreate. When you are afraid, you have allowed your mind to miscreate. When you are afraid, you have allowed your mind to miscreate. When you are afraid, what does that mean? It means you have not allowed love to guide your mind. You have not allowed God to guide your mind. When you are afraid, you have not allowed the truth to guide your mind. When you are afraid, you are no longer allowing spirit to guide your mind. Well, it is pointless to believe that controlling the outcome of misthought can result in healing. It is pointless to believe that controlling the outcome of misthought can result in healing. When you are fearful, you have chosen wrongly. When you are fearful, it means you have chosen wrongly. When you are fearful, it means you have chosen wrongly. That's why you feel responsible for it. That's why you feel responsible for your fear. Because you have chosen for fear and you have chosen wrongly, and that's why you feel responsible for it, because you know you're choosing for fear, and so you know you are responsible for the fear that you're choosing, because you have chosen wrongly. You must change your mind and not your behavior. You must change your mind and not your behavior. I must change my mind and not my behavior. I must change my mind and not my behavior, except at the mind level. Except at the mind level. You don't need guidance except at the mind level. You must change your mind, not your behavior, and this is a matter of willingness. Do you have willingness? Do you have a willingness to change your mind? Do you have a willingness to change your mind? Because you got to change your mind, not your, don't worry about your behavior. Because if you change your mind, your ass will follow. Don't forget that you have to change your mind and not your behavior. You do not need guidance except at the mind level. You only need guidance at the thinking level. So correction belongs only at the level where change is possible. And what level is change possible at? Change is possible at the mind level. So correction belongs only at the mind level. Correction belongs only at the mind level, because it's at the mind level that change is possible. It's only at the mind level that change is possible. It's only at the mind level that change is possible. It's only at the mind level change is possible. It's only at the mind level change is possible. Change doesn't mean anything at the symptom level. Change doesn't mean anything at the symptom level. At the symptom level, change cannot work. At the physical level, change never really works unless there's a change at the mental level. There won't be a change at the physical level unless there is a change at the mental level. There won't be a change at the physical level. So the correction of fear is your responsibility. 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 When you ask for release from fear, when you ask something to release you from your fear, when you ask for release from fear, you are implying that it is not your responsibility to let it go. When you ask for release from fear, you are implying that it's not your responsibility to let it go. You should ask instead for help. You should ask for help in the conditions that brought the fear about. I'm afraid right now. I need to ask for help in the conditions that brought the fear about. So whatever that situation is in your life right now, whatever that area that you're not choosing for peace right now, I want you to ask for peace, ask for help in the condition that brought the fear about. Ask for help in the condition that brought the fear about. These conditions always entail a willingness to be separate. These conditions that bring the fear about always entail a willingness to be separate. Yeah. So at the level of the mind, you can help it. At the level of the thinking, you can help it. You are much too tolerant of mind wandering and are passively condoning your mind's miscreations. So you're passively condoning the thoughts that you're thinking that's not necessarily bringing you peace. You want to go ahead? You want to go ahead and open it? Just go ahead and open it. Okay. All right. I know. People do that all the time. They try to open something soft. It takes 30 minutes. So you hear the crinkling noise for about 30 minutes. So we just do it. Just do it. I've studied the truth 30 years. I can handle crinkle. I can do crinkle. I can do it. So, it says, you're much too tolerant of mind wandering. So you're passively condoning your mind's miscreations. The particular result doesn't matter, but the fundamental error does matter. The correction is always the same. Check this out. The correction is always the same. Before you choose to do anything, ask me, go within, and if your choice is in accord with mine, well, who is mine? Your own divine self, the God within you. If your choice is in line with your truest self, if your choice is in line with the truth of what you are, there will be no fear. Wow, that's a heck of a statement. I'll say it again. Before you choose to do anything, ask me if your choice is in accord with mine. So you have to ask yourself, is this choice in accord with myself? Is this choice really in accord with my real self, my true self? That deep down inside self, is this choice in accord with my heart? Is this choice in accord with my soul? Is this choice in accord? I mean, when you look at that donut, you got to ask yourself, is this choice in accord with my soul? Is it in accord with the truth in me? He says, if you're sure that your choice is in accord with yourself, the Course says there will be no fear. And that's why it says stuff like you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it. Some of it's going to be startling, some of it's going to be hard to believe. So I'm going to stop here, throw it open for the basic points that's been made. And here are the basic points as I see them that's been made. Is that basically it's said over and over again, I'm responsible for what I think. And that changing my behavior doesn't mean anything if I'm still thinking the same way. And I'm afraid and I feel responsible for it because I'm the one that's choosing to be afraid. So yes, I am responsible for it. And I only need guidance in my thinking. I only need guidance in my thinking. So the voice for the Holy Spirit or the voice for God within us is guiding us in our thinking, because it's our thinking that's producing our physical reality. And everything in our physical reality comes from our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and belief, conscious and subconscious. That's what's producing your experience today. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, conscious and subconscious. It's creating literally creating your physical reality. So everything that you are experiencing right this moment, today, is coming from your own consciousness. It's coming from your own mind. It's coming from love or it's coming from fear within you. Whew.
Mercy.
So, I can only correct myself at the level that change is possible. What level is change possible on, according to the Course? At the mind level. It doesn't mean anything at the symptom level. So every time I ask God to release me from fear, I'm implying that the responsibility for letting go of the fear isn't mine. And so it says, well, what do? I ask for help. Ask for help in what? The conditions that's making me afraid. The condition that's brought my fear about. I like to use the example of if I'm hiking in Boulder, which is impossible. You ever see Earl on a hiking trail? Shoot him, it's a clone. He's come from the planet Zulu. Let alone to be skiing, be sure to blow him away. It's not pretty black folk to get on little boards and go 70 miles down our mountainside. We just didn't learn that in the hood, but I ain't knocking it, but it's not. Give me some barbecue. That'll be fine for me. But I love what all the other aspects of myself do. It's just one of us here. So you just expressing my latent desire to ski and hike. And I appreciate that. I do. I've lost weight because of you. I remember when I used to sit in the chair and jog around the block in my mind, and I lost 10 pounds. Yeah, I used to sit down comfortable. I worked up to a 4-minute mile. It was amazing. It was amazing. I felt so good. So you ask. If I'm hiking along on the path and I see a mountain lion and I feel afraid, if I ask for condition, helping the condition is bringing the fear about. This is just a metaphor. Then if you took the lion away, I would let go of the fear. So if you correct the condition that I'm using to choose to be fearful, I will let go of my fear. So the Course in Miracles is saying, don't ask for release from so much your fear. Ask for help in the conditions that's bringing it about. And the conditions that's bringing it about. And then the Course says, well, I'm going to tell you what the real condition is that's bringing the fear about. Now you may say, the condition that's bringing the fear about is some physical circumstance or relationship that you're going through right now. That's going to be the smoke screen. Is that it's because of something external to yourself that you think needs to be changed for you to let go of the fear. The Course says, really the fear is coming from a willingness to be separate. Now what does that mean? It says, well, separate from God, separate from love, separate from source. That if I knew I was truly connected to the source of all things, that had all power, how could I be afraid? If I really knew I was connected to source, how could I be afraid? So really I need to ask for help in the condition that's bringing my fear about, but the condition that's bringing my fear about is a thought that I'm not having, which is my connection to God and my connection to source. Does that make sense to everybody? That my willingness to be separate from the truth is what's really causing me to be afraid, because the truth is I am an innocent child of an infinite creator that is invulnerable, that is now inhabiting a physical body in order to learn to remember who I am, and one day maybe go to Burning Man, you know. One day I might be at Burning Man, who knows? You know, but that's why I'm in the body. To finally get the chance to run around in Burning Man. So, I don't know. I'd have to learn how to overlook my body. So, the old bait, she ain't what she used to be. That's why I'm glad I'm meeting more and more people who go for my inner beauty. It becomes more crucial as you age in the world. Okay, now. You know, who cares about my spiritual awareness when I was in my 20s? I want to look good. Forget God. Look at my butt. That's all that counts. You know, you don't have to read all them books about this, that, and the other, and how to track stuff. Just have a round butt. You get a lot of dates and everything. So you really have to work really hard on your mind when you're like 20. Okay, now. I never let my subject matter get in the way of what I have to say. That was I was channeling. Okay, now. So where's it coming from? Where's my fear ultimately coming from? My mind, and it's also coming from my willingness to be separate from the truth, from spirit. Okay, so the Course says, I love it. It says the result doesn't matter, but the error does. So right now I'm focusing on the result. The result may be I may see myself as experiencing lack in some area of my life right now. So I'm focusing on how can I get the abundance that'll handle that lack. And the Course in Miracles is saying that the result doesn't matter, but the fundamental error of keeping yourself separate from source, separate from spirit, separate from the universe, that error does matter. That's the real error. Because if you don't get in touch with what the real error is, then the error is very tricky, and it will just keep changing appearances. So it seems like you got your money situation handled. As soon as that happened, then you got sick. Then you got well, and then you lost your job. And then you got another job, and then your car broke down. See, until you deal with the fundamental error, and I know sometimes in New Thought circles, the word error and mistake is not really a popular word. I understand that there's that there is no error. Everything is perfect and all of that kind of stuff. And that's true at a level that we don't live on. That's very true, but not on the level of separate beings who think they're in the world for a limited amount of time. Yeah. Sorry, if you don't have a whole lot of time to like for instance, you know, if you wanted to come to this class by way of China, then you would like somebody to tell you that that's an error. Yeah, eventually you would get here, but the class would be over. So, in terms of thinking that you're in the physical world, you actually would speed yourself along if you said, you know, this is not the way for me, this is wrong-minded for me, but this is the way that feels right-minded for me. Because you don't have time enough to try all ways and all directions. You don't have enough physical time to try every possibility. So it would actually be time-saving if you realize that there was every possibility of getting up to my office through every door in this building, but it would save you time if I would say, if you go out that door, that's the wrong way, but if you go upstairs, up on the 3rd floor is my office. I would like somebody to do that, brother. When I was asking for directions in the building, they said, well, you could go all streets. You want to get to Colorado Boulevard, you can go all streets. And every street is the right street. It'd be much better if they said, hit 13, just go that way, and you'll run right into Colorado. If you go that way, you're probably going to miss it if you go in the opposite direction. So at this level, I'll say it again, you actually might get what you want faster if you accept the idea that some choices are not the right choices for you at this level. And this book is simply saying that choice might be the choice not to know your connection to source, not to know your connection to love, not to know your connection to God. I'm sick of hearing about the love. I'm trying to get out of the way so the love can come through me. And sometimes it's, your enthusiasm and the energy that comes out of you, it will accomplish more than your words ever would, because really it's the energy and thought behind your words that's really communicating to people anyway, regardless of the words you use. And it's what you're telling yourself behind the words that you tell others that's teaching you. I can say you're the nicest, coolest dude in the world, Blake, but in my mind I'm saying that guy's screwed up. Then what I'm teaching myself is I'm screwed up, even though I'm saying you're a really cool guy, Blake. So it's not what you say to people that's teaching you, it's what you're telling yourself behind the words that you use with others. That's what you're learning. That's what you're impressing your consciousness with, and then whatever you impress your consciousness with emotion and feeling becomes your perceived physical reality. That's the way it works here. And it's three-dimensional, and it seems like there's a length of time between when you think something and when it manifests. Thank God, because that gives you a period of time to be able to adjust yourself to receive that which you created, where if it just happened instantaneously, you might not be able to handle it. So this is really the preparation period for that which you're focusing on and that which you desire and that which you really believe in. It's that in-between period where it seems like it's not happening yet. That's when you're supposed to be cultivating the attitude of gratitude so you can receive it. Because without the ability to receive, then no matter how much I want to give you, you can't accept it. So basically we got a lot of people that saying they want to be loved, that if love really showed up, it would just scare the hell out of them because they wouldn't understand that level of kindness and that level of giving and that level of trust. And it would bring up all of their suspicions. As a matter of fact, when someone says something about you that's more than what you believe about yourself, it will tend to come off to you as being an insincere compliment. Simply because you can't conceive of the way they're seeing you, so your mind says, well, that must be a lie. As you wake up to who you really are, you'll be amazed at how much you've been surrounded by love all your life, but you never heard it. Because how you felt about yourself. So if I'm sure that I'm really following my heart, if I'm sure that I'm really listening to spirit, whatever that situation you're going through right now, you won't be afraid. You won't be afraid. How could an infinite being be afraid? How can an eternal being be afraid? So you can't make a correct decision from truth and be afraid. Then a lot of times I've gone ahead and made decisions and I say the fear helped me make the decision. Maybe it did, but the fear wasn't necessary to make a decision that's beneficial to you. You don't have to go through the fear to make a decision or have a decision that's beneficial to you. If you do choose to go through the fear and conflict, isn't it wonderful that your higher self will take your conflict and use it to teach you how to move toward love? That's wonderful. But it wasn't necessary for you to go through the fear and conflict in order to get the lesson. I just want you to know that. If you choose to go through fear and conflict and struggle all the time, that's your right to do that because you're an infinite being and everything you decree is what happens around you. Sorry. And the fact that you may not know that doesn't have anything to do with it working. Thank God I have to consciously be aware of my heart for it to keep beating. I'm glad a lot of things happen without me having to consciously think about it all the time. And what I'm sharing with you is that your thought is creative and you always experience the result of your own thinking, whether you believe that or not. And if you don't believe that, you're usually surrounded by other people who don't believe that, and you reinforce each other's victim consciousness and each other's belief that you don't have power. And you call that a society. And those of us who choose for our power, our infinite nature, know we are part of an infinite being. We are the ones that are looked upon as being strange because the people who see it the other way, they don't see what you see. They literally do not see the world you see. That's not a metaphor. They don't see it, so it sounds crazy to them. If somebody could walk a mile in my shoes every day, they wouldn't even believe what they'd be seeing. It's called being in the world, but not of the world. Which comes from having a willingness to join with my source and I realize that the only thing that affects level is changes my own thinking, and that I'm responsible for that. And I'm not blaming anybody else for anything that I'm going through whatsoever. And if I do, I'm wrong. How do I know I'm wrong? Because I'm pissed off, I'm mad, I'm upset. How could I possibly be having correct perception and want to kill somebody? Woo! I know I have incorrect perception because there's still a part of me that's afraid of dying. There's no way you can know who you really are and be afraid of dying, because you would know you're not the body that's going to die. So the mere fact that I still fear death means I still don't accept the truth of my true identity yet. It's so cool for me to know that. Not to beat myself up, but to know I still need to allow myself to be taught, because learning is living here. This is school. Sorry, this is school. You did the ultimate going off to school. And you don't even, some of you may or may not realize that. These are your avatars, and you're in school. This is not where you originated. This is not your ultimate identity. You have darned and discarded more bodies than you even remember. Just like you do clothes, you do bodies. But you know, if I identify with my pants, then I'm not going to want to take them off. So you can always tell me you no longer identify with your pants, you take them off.
Especially if they're poopy.
That's right. Especially that poop. Well, most of them are off anyway because they be hanging down around your butt. So we on the way there. So it's a higher consciousness fashion. You know, it's like you're almost down your butt right now. You're almost out your pants. You're almost realizing that you're innocent. Okay. Any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Can you help me with the mountain lion?
Yeah. Okay. I'm afraid.
If the mountain lion's hungry,
No.
what are you afraid of?
No, not necessarily. If you believe that, you will be a Happy Meal for a lion. There's no doubt about it. If you believe it, you will be munched on, no doubt about it. But there are other alternatives. But I was just using that as an example. If I'm afraid and you correct the condition that I'm using to make myself afraid, then I'm going to let my fear go. That was the point of it. You know, even though no matter how hungry that mountain lion is, if somehow he leaves or somebody gets rid of him, I will stop being afraid. So what I really needed to do was to have a correction in the condition that was bringing the fear about. I will let go of my fear once the condition is corrected. But the Course in Miracles is saying, it's really talking about the willingness to be separate is the condition that brings the fear about. The fact that I'm willing to be separate from my source is why I'm afraid. If you really trusted, really, according to this, if you really trusted and you really was in touch with your true self and you really was in touch with God, you would not be going to work tomorrow, to work a job that you hate, because you wouldn't be concerned about whether or not you'd be taken care of, because you know you would be. That if we really knew we were the creators, you wouldn't be doing anything that you didn't want to do at all, ever, at any time. Period. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And so I go, well, I'm not there yet. And therein lies why you have the book. So that you can learn to have your perception corrected enough that you'll let go of all your fear. So if I'm not to that point yet, then it will sound insane to me. And I will also try to justify why I should keep my fear, why fear is serving a really useful purpose, and why it's good for me to be afraid. That's just a defense of a thought system that you know doesn't give you peace. And you're innocent. That's what's so cool about it. It's okay. That's beautiful. You can keep, you know what's so cool? You can keep your beliefs as long as you like. And the results of them. Isn't that great? Nobody's going to snatch them away from me early. There's one other thing I want to get to that's really powerful in this next paragraph. And so, anybody else before I hit it, because this next paragraph to me says it all. So what is it that causes fundamental shift? Change your mind. Whose responsibility?
Mine.
Right. Do you have guidance?
Yes.
How do you know when you're finally at the point that you're truly listening to your guidance? Truly 100%. You feel peaceful, you feel joy, you won't feel afraid. You know. If I really knew who I really am and they told me I had cancer and I had 2 months to live, I would not be shaken. My peace would not be shaken, because who I really am would not be the body that was going to drop. That's if I was really there. So I'm in the process of getting there, but I'm not in the process of doing that by myself, because that's the slow way. I want guidance from that part of me, my divine self, within you, within me, that already knows exactly how this all comes about and has the power to do it. I'm really on a path of guidance now. I enjoyed years and years and years of trying to figure it all out and trying to master it all intellectually. And it was so much fun. But there comes a time on the spiritual path that you realize you don't really know anything for sure, and that there is something that does know, and all you want to do is get the heck out of the way and let it start doing its thing through you. But before you get to that level, usually you have to go to the level of self-empowerment, which is where you begin to get in touch with your own ability to think and make decisions, and that you have power. So it's all about you accomplishing your personal interests and your personal goals and your personal ambitions, because that's a stage of learning that you have power. But the funny thing about it is that when you finally get to the point that you've mastered that personal power, the first thing that you want to do is to give it over to the part of you that knows more than you do, because in the process of your self-discovery, you realize you had been your own worst enemy, and it was only your own ignorance that was blocking your happiness. So you no longer really want to be your guide anymore. So you resign as your own teacher because you honestly assess the results of what you've been trying to teach yourself. So then you become open to the brand new level. And that comes after you are the one that's doing it all on your own, because you're powerful now through all your workshops. So now you know how to do it all, you know. And what's really cool about the universe is it'll let you have all your fantasies, all your dreams, you can be the president of your own company, you can blah, 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 you can do, blah, 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 blah. And, the universe, if you're sincere about it, you'll manifest it, it'll show up, and you'll have the beautiful realization that your happiness is not dependent on anything you thought it was, and nothing outside of yourself. And at first that's like, ooh, I don't like that. But on the other hand, you begin to realize then that means you're about to choose the easier way, because the easier way is always seeking where you find. And it's in you. Wow. And then you realize, well, the best way for me to realize that it's in me would be to remind others through my word, thought, and deed of that which I want to learn. So then you do stuff like set up Course in Miracles classes so that you can make sure you hear the thoughts that you want your consciousness to be impressed with. Since you know it's your consciousness that's going to create your physical reality, you know nothing's more important than how much you give yourself loving, healing, powerful thoughts. So you set your reality up so that all the time you're having to tell people stuff that you need to learn, so you'll never forget it and your reality will become it. That's the way it works. And then you surround yourself with people who also want love just like you do. It's not complicated, but if you hate your freaking self, you're never going to do it. But that's what's so cool about hating your freaking self. There is a limit to hate. There is a limit to hate. There's a limit to depression. There's a limit to pain. There is no such thing as unlimited pain.
Oh my goodness.
Anybody that's experienced excruciating pain will tell you they blacked out. There was only so much pain, and I'm sorry, the universe is set up that there's only so much pain you're going to go through. So if nothing else, you're blacking out. But you will not be conscious of the pain continually. That's how loving whatever created us is that no matter how much we try to hurt ourselves, it's always in a natural process of trying to correct every thought that brings us pain. But then we're listening to the thought that we were taught from the world as we grew up, and we've identified with what the world teaches us is true, made up a personality and identity based on those teachings. And now we're living a false life based on an idea of ourselves that's not true about us at all. How can you tell that you're living according to a false idea? You're depressed. You're unhappy. You think there's not enough. You might think you're lonely, or that you couldn't have a right loving relationship. All of those things are your way of knowing you are incorrect in your thinking about yourself. It's not really hidden, and it's not really subtle. If you feel suicidal, you're probably not seeing things correctly. Right?
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes when you tap into that truth and tap into that power and tap into that love, and it blows you away because it feels so good, that old part of you that believes you don't deserve it does everything in its power to sabotage that moment and make you think it was a fluke and that it's not true and things are not as wonderful as they could be for you. Don't fall for the trick. Don't fall for the trick. If you experience an improvement, experiencing love, experiencing more joy, then don't be shocked if you try to throw up something to convince yourself that it's not real. Because the part of you that doesn't think you deserve it doesn't want you to receive it. But it's just a thought in your mind. Picture your mind as a pond sitting here, right? A little pond right here in the middle of this room, right? And a thought as a pebble. And so you have the thought of I am limited. Blunk. And then you watch the ripples go out. I am limited. I am limited. I am limited. One after another. I am limited. Hit the shore. Comes back to who? You. You are limited. You are limited. You are limited. Everything you're experiencing is your personal pebble. The result of your personal pebble in the pool of your mind. Women have a hard time. Kerplunk! I'm a black man in America. I'm doomed. Kerplunk! Kerplunk! Boy, the black man, that was when I was a young, thought I was a black guy. When I was a kid and young, and I was hearing, you're black so you can't do this, and you're black so you can't do that, and you're black because this is going to be against you, and you're black. I said, I don't want to be black. Did God hate me? Why did God make me black? Give me a break. What am I doing in the back of a bus? What's wrong with this picture? I was like, what's up, God? What did I do? Then you go to church and they say, you're sinful, you killed the Son of God. Have a nice day. Have some pie. Let's have a few donuts after service. You've killed the Son of God. I go, how could I have killed the Son of God if the Son of God died 2,000 years before I was born? Explain it to me. How did I do it? Don't you question the Bible. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why you went the other direction. But now you have to watch being closed-minded at the other end. To the point that it's hearing those words, you get all upset. And that's how you know you still haven't forgiven that idea yet. And that's how you know a part of you still believes in sin and guilt. Why? Because you still react to the idea in print. If I'm truly enlightened, I have no reaction to concepts. The Course says what you revolt against is what you believe. The thing you're revolting against the most is the thing you give the most power to. The thing you run away from the most is actually the thing that you give the most power to. I used to think that meant that I wasn't really focused in on it. I'm running away from it. That's fear. I'm giving it power. I didn't have fun in this black body until I started to realize that, number one, I'm not this black body. Number two, I chose it. Because the way that I needed to learn lessons that allowed me to wake up to love in God and who I truly am, I could only have them the way I chose to have them, through being born to the parents I was born to, in this body that I have right now, in the color that it is, because it's the easiest, best way for me to get to self-realization. At that point, I go, everything that happened in my past was for my own best interest. Everything that happened in my past was for my own best interest, whether it seemed like I had an alcoholic father, whether it seemed like we were in poverty, whether it seemed like I did homework by candlelight, it was for my own best interest. So that once I claimed my past was for my own best interest, there was no longer any past to process. There was no need for me to go back to my childhood if my childhood was good for me. So it landed me. As soon as I accepted that everything that had happened to me was for my own best interest, because it brought me to the point I am right today, where I'm trying to be more loving. Then once you realize that your past is no longer in conflict with your present, because both of them are based on gratitude and love. And so that's the end of the past, which is great because it's been gone anyway. You can't not let go what's already gone. And the past is gone. And I said gone, not gone. The past is gone. That's what we say in the South. It's gone. It's gone. It's over. It's done. Time took away the thing that you were most upset about. That's the beauty of it. It's gone. It's over. It's done. But it's just happening in your mind. Yeah. And as soon as you remember it in your mind, you evoke the same feelings, emotions, and reactions that you would have as if it was happening right now.
Yeah.
So you have to forget in order to remember better. You have to forget in order to remember better. You have to forget in order to remember better. This next paragraph is so good, and I'm going to do it next week. This is enough to chew on.
It is.
Actually, if you walked out of here today with just the realization that the correction of fear is your responsibility, and all you had to do was ask for help in the conditions that brought it about, and on the level that brings about change is the thought level, so therefore all I need is to make sure that I'm thinking thoughts that I do truly want to receive. The Course says when someone says something to you, or asks you something, you stop for a minute and you realize that whatever you're saying to them is what's coming to you. That whatever you say to them is what's coming to you. Whatever answer you give them is what's coming to you. You stop a minute and go, whatever answer I give them is what's coming to me. And then you answer them in terms of what you want to receive. You answer people in terms of what you want to receive, with the attitude you want to receive, because whatever you give to them is what's coming back to you. They are not really hearing your answer anyway, so you just as well say what you want to hear, because they are not hearing your answer. They're only hearing what they want to hear, and they're only hearing their interpretation of what you're saying. So they are not really going to hear your answer anyway. They're just going to hear what they want to hear. Yeah. So you have to make sure you're saying to them what you want to hear, because you'll be the only one that's hearing you. Nobody else is.
Wow.
That's deep, but it's the truth. It's really the truth. And you have it all handled because you know you're juicy and you know you're cute. Would you acknowledge yourself for showing up and listening to her? Listen to you. Give it to you. To you. To you. You know you're cool. You know you're cool. You know you're cool. And so that's what I love about the Course in Miracles. Like, if there are many paths to, this is not the only path by any means. But what I love about it is that it's loaded with the thoughts that I want to think to produce the reality that I want to live in. So I don't even have to worry about that. I don't have to try to come up with the ideas. And I love that. So we're going to do the love offering. I'm a full-time teacher of this stuff. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for your blessings to me. Thank you for letting God share with me through you. I really appreciate it. You are off the chain. Incredible experience of manifesting whatever you want, and then finding out that your happiness or unhappiness is being caused by your thinking and not the lack of any physical thing that you think isn't there. But you know, people tend not to get there until they actually have what they desire. So that's why letting yourself receive and letting yourself have abundance at any level actually speeds you along the path, because now it's no longer a distraction, so you can go ahead and be about the real deal. You know, if you're convinced that, you're convinced that a certain car is going to make you happy and it's keeping you from focusing on changing your mind, which will make you happy, then if you went ahead and gave yourself the car, then you would go on and be about your business. And you also see that in and of itself, the car doesn't make you happy in and of itself. Same thing with relationships. You'll know that you're absolutely ready for a relationship when you're absolutely okay if you don't have a relationship. That's how you know you're ready for one, is because you're okay without it and you're not like freaking out at the if you freak out at the thought of the person not being there, then you know you made that person into an idol, and one day you're going to be crying about it. Mm-hmm. So that's not saying don't give him every ounce of love that's possible to allow to come through you, but don't fool yourself about how you're seeing them by thinking that the fear of loss is a representation of your love. The fear of loss is a representation of fear. Anything that's real, you don't feel threatened about it. If it's a real relationship, what do you got to be jealous about? If it's a real relationship, why would you be afraid of loss? So I love it the way so many truth books just run it down for us, so that we'll be able to tell really quickly. And it's great, because if you get in a relationship, then you get an opportunity to experience love at a very deep level, and you also get a chance to learn what you're hiding about yourself from yourself, that you're pretending that you're not like, but you actually are. That's what I like about living alone. I don't have to look at the stuff I don't like about myself. It's a brilliant strategy. It's a brilliant strategy. There's no reflection of what's not cool about me. I just look at the posters of myself and feel good. You're fine. You're perfect. You're all right, Raj. All right. There's nothing wrong with the way you love, buddy. Then I go out when I'm feeling really, really sane, and people think I'm so loving because I'm seeing them when I want to. It's the secret of being a cool person. So they say, Raj is cool. That's because you see me only when I feel that way. What I do comes from what I think. Say what I do comes from what I think. Say what I do comes from what I think. What I do comes from what I think. And what now check this out. You are entitled to miracles. You are entitled to miracles. You are entitled to miracles. You are entitled it for yourself. I am entitled to miracles. Say what? I am entitled to miracles. I deserve to be paid for having fun. I deserve to be paid for having fun. What? I deserve to be paid for having fun. I deserve to be paid for having fun. I have orgasmic truth. I have orgasmic truth. I have orgasmic truth. I have orgasmic truth. Orgasmic. 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 I have orgasmic love. Say what? I have orgasmic love. Now here goes a question to spirit. What would it take for orgasmic love to show up in my life right now? What would it take for orgasmic love to show up in my life right now? In ways beyond my wildest imagination. In ways beyond my wildest imagination. Woo! 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 Say what? Woo! So here's the mantra we're going to end on. The ohm we're going to end on. Here we go. Y'all hear that ohm? Y'all, you ready? Let's go. How does that feel? How does that feel? I want y'all to pretend like you have enthusiasm. How does that feel? One more time, go. I appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for coming out and helping me remember who I really am. Hugs are available. Your assignment this week is to have as much orgasmic love and joy and abundance that you can manage. Is that all right? Is that all right? I want to hear a scream to the north and a scream to the south. I want to hear a scream to the west and a scream